Hello and welcome to another episode of In the Studio. Today I'm joined by the lovely Becky James, who's going to show us this beautiful altered canvas, and she's going to be showing us some fantastic techniques for distressing and layering. Hi Becky, welcome along today.
Hi Katie.
Now you've got a very beautiful project for us today. What are we going to be making?
Well, I'm going to show you a really easy way to cover a canvas. We're going to use the lovely Papermania decoupage papers, and then we're going to look at some distressing and layering techniques.
Ah, brilliant, lovely. This looks like it would be a wonderful gift idea for Mum.
Yeah, absolutely, that's it.
So for Mother's Day idea, this is a good one for you to try. Right, what's first?
Right, okay, what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to cover the canvas. Now, this is really, really easy to do. And it's using the Papermania Simply Floral decoupage papers. They're absolutely beautiful. All these lovely bright bold colours. Now I've got a little 5x7 inch canvas here, and what we're going to do is cover it first of all. And what you do is, if I just hold that up, I cut it so that it will literally just go around the edges.
Okay.
And then I've put some scrap paper down because you know me, I love to be messy. So, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to brush some PVA glue on the back. Now for this, my favourite, and I know we've talked about this before, is the Craft Planet PVA glue.
Oh yeah.
Because it isn't too thick.
Okay.
But it's very, very substantial, but it allows you to manoeuvre things around. But I will say what's also nice about this one is it comes in nice big bottles. So you've always got plenty, and that for me is really, really important.
Massive bottle is the way forward.
Right, now what we're going to do is we're going to pop the canvas this way down.
Okay.
Centrally. And then I'm just going to lift that off, and we're going to work with that. And what I'm now going to do is just using some kitchen roll, is I'm going to really rub that down so that I'm rubbing out any sort of bubbles so that they're going out towards the edge. What I'm going to do next is, and now you could, if you wanted to, chop in at the corners and fold it around, but there's really no need to do that. All I'm going to do, we're going to go around the edges, and again we're going to just fold it in and rub round to make sure it's nicely adhered. But then all I'm going to do is pinch those corners in. So if you can see, we just pinch the corners in. And then all I'm going to do, and now I'm using the X-Cut scissors with the Teflon coating because I'm using some glue here. So, and then all we do is we just cut to the corner. And that's it, that's basically it covered. And then what I do is leave that to dry, and then we work with it from there. Fantastic. Now, I've got one here that's prepared already, and I'll tell you what we've done from that stage to here. Okay. So after that, I've basically, to age around the edges, I've gone round first with the red dye ink, and then with my chocolate dye ink. So that gives you that sort of lovely old-fashioned rosy hue to it. It's lovely. Which is what I wanted to do. If from there you want to, you can then coat it, and I would say it's a good idea to coat it because it just gives it a bit of extra protection, you know, in case of maybe if there's it's in a damp area, you know, if it goes in a kitchen or a dining room or something. And I use Artiste matte varnish. Okay. And what I've got here, first of all, we're going to do some layering up, and I'm using the Simply Floral decoupage, and I have to say I've chosen my favourite design for this because I just love the roses and the colours of this design. Isn't it? And what I'm going to do, first of all, because we're going to add some trims and things like that, but I want this to be right at the bottom, so I'm going to add this to start off with. And first thing I'm going to do is just pull and shape some bits of it. And I'm just going to pop it, if I can just show this to the camera, I'm just going to pop it at a slight angle. So, and this will be important when we carry on, and you see how it all fits together with the frame that we're going to use as well. So I'm just going to do this with some hot melt glue. Now I've got some trims from the little Meow range. They are beautiful. And you can see all the detail. So delicate, it is really delicate. So I thought I'd like to put some of that in. They're lovely. We'll give you that one back. So, and we've got the lovely Victorian Valentine velvet ribbon too. That's lovely. And just for a rustic feel, we've got some brown string. I love very nice. String. Yeah. Love a bit of brown string. Never have too much string. No, absolutely not. So what I'm going to do is now you can stick this down with PVA glue if you want to when you're doing this yourself at home. And if you do stick it down with PVA glue, you'll just have to leave it a little while to dry. But for speed, I'm using my hot melt glue gun. Stick that back on there. There we go, and just trim off the excesses. Right,
very nice.
Now we've got the base, and now we can start actually adding all the other details to it.
Lovely.
Right, so the next thing I'd like to talk about actually is the Bellissima picture frames, because we're going to use one of these. And they come like this. They're a white blank canvas, basically, excuse the pun. They're a white blank canvas, and you can basically do what you want with them. You can use them as they are, or you can paint them. But what I've done is I've picked out a pink which matches the colours in my bouquet. Now, I've used Artiste acrylic paints, and I love these paints. They are lovely, they're nice and thick, you get good coverage with them, and there is such a palette, and quite often I'll just go for one colour. Yeah. But what I like about them is that there is such a huge palette, you can mix any colour that you possibly want. And I wanted a slightly lighter pink this time. So I've actually mixed blush and Lush pink. Ooh, that's a bit of a mouthful, isn't it?
That was very fortuitous, wasn't it?
And I've actually covered everything over here.
That's a lovely shade.
It is a really, really nice colour actually. But what I want to do is I just want to not so much tone it down, but because we're going for a real vintage theme with this, I just want to sort of age it a little bit. Okay. So there's two ways I've done this. The first is that I'm going to add some chocolate ink, and I'm going to use the Papermania stamp pad foam for this because it is great for applying. And what I'm doing here is I'm just highlighting all that lovely detail that's actually in the frame, because when you add a blank colour to it, it almost, you lose that, you can lose that detail. So by,
it looks like it just looks flat, doesn't it?
And all it does is it picks up the detail that's in the detail where you've rubbed over it. It doesn't go onto the rest of the frame. And then the other bit that I'm going to add, just to add a hint of sort of opulence maybe, is a metallic ink pad in gold. And again, I'm going to use the stamp pad foam, and again, I'm just going to rub that over. And what that will do is it'll just add a pearlescent finish. Now what you do need to do is, and I'm just going to do this very quickly, is because the metallic ink pad is pigment, you do need to heat set it. You don't need to put a powder on it, but you do need to heat set it with your heat tool. So we'll just do that very quickly. There we go, that's it. And it's very quick, it doesn't need to be for a long time.
Okay, that's good.
Right, so now I'm going to make my little frame up. And I've chosen this picture because it matches the bouquet that I'm already using. And what?
So is this out of one of the decoupage packs?
This is out of the ultimate decoupage pack, yes. But because I don't need the greeting on, I'm actually going to chop that off. And believe it or not, I can use that on another project.
Yeah, definitely.
I wouldn't waste that.
No, no, no.
No waste in this this little crafting area, I can tell you. Right, and then I'm going to just rub that round, and we're going to stick that into my frame.
Oh, that's nice.
So what I'm going to do next is I'm just going to add this onto my design, but now I'm just going to make a little snip there because I want this flower to actually hang over my frame to give a little bit more natural form and flow. So we're going to just tuck there. Can you see how that makes all the difference? Such a difference? Yeah. And I will glue that to the frame. There we go. But we're just going to stick the frame on now. And again, I just got blobs of my hot melt glue.
Yeah, it's a good choice, particularly with like sort of heavier embellishments, isn't it?
It is. It's solid and it's sturdy, and also it's generally quick drying as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Though be aware, if you do put a big blob on there, it does take a little bit longer to dry. So those are the main details there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you how I've layered up the bouquet to show you don't just have to lay your decoupage as it comes. Okay. And then we'll talk a little bit about the embellishments and the things that I've used. We won't necessarily stick those down, but you can have a good look at them and see what they are. So again here, now this actually is this section of the decoupage here, but we're actually going to pop it down here so that again it overlaps the frame. And this allows you to manoeuvre your decoupage and to use it how it fits your project, not necessarily as it is, because
it doesn't have to be in the regimented way that the numbers might suggest.
Exactly. Because it's almost like paint by numbers, but you don't have to. You can take it that step further and you can actually layer things up exactly how you want to.
It gives the illusion that there's sort of more than one of this flower in the bouquet, doesn't it?
Exactly. And just as another sort of, just to show you here as well, I only want one of these flowers, so I've chopped this bit of the decoupage in half.
Good.
I'll pop that away. That can go on to another project. So there we go. And you can see then, you're really building everything up, and you're actually, it's almost like you're being your own florist, as it were, and bringing your own projects, putting your own project together. But as you can see, that's now starting to layer up. There are as well some individual little leaves, and you can tuck those into little areas like over here maybe, if you wanted to add a little bit of more foliage, that sort of thing. So that's your base, and that is really how I like to layer things and to sort of give things a really different feel to them. Now if we go back to the finished one, we can have a little chat about how things have been done. So from here, what I've done is I've added all these lovely embellishments down here. And that kind of fills this area here, but still leaves all those lovely trims visible.
Yeah, you can still see them, but they're...
Yeah, and we've used here things like these. Yes, things like these beautiful bows, and I love these large ribbon bows, and they're great for this sort of project because, as you can see, you can tuck them under things and that sort of thing. And I just love these. They're from the resin flowers from the Bellissima charm pack.
They're fantastic, aren't they?
And I've made up, using my Papermania bow maker, a double bow from the brown string. And what that does is, by adding these three elements together here, you've got a trio, which always looks best.
Yes, yes, yes.
And then the final thing that I did was, because up here it was quite blank, I wanted to add something that balanced this off, and that's why there's the little grating up there as well.
Wonderful. It's absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that project. I'm sure everyone's mum would be very excited to receive that. Thank you.
That's okay.
If you've enjoyed Becky's project, why not pop along to docrafts.com, where you can find a full list of everything she's used to make her project, as well as some great close-up photos so you can really see the detail. We'd love to hear what you think of our videos. Why not leave us a comment down below? And if you're after more inspiration, why not pick up Docrafts Creativity magazine? And don't forget, you can find the information of how to make Becky's Crackle glaze frame in the January issue. We'd also love if you would like our Facebook page. There's loads of great inspiration to be found there, as well as lots of other crafters to chat to. Until next time, happy crafting.